Hello, hello, and welcome to the Good Girls Get Rich podcast. I'm your host, Karen Yankovich, and this is part two of an episode that we did last week, episode 366, KarenYankovich.com/366. And in episode one, we talked about like things maybe feeling off a little bit. In this episode, we're going to talk about what you actually do about that. Because what if nothing in your business is actually broken? What if the reason that your marketing feels off isn't because you need to do more, but because you need to be clearer? You need to have more clarity. Because here's what I know is true. This stuff always changes. Like we always have to be thinking on our feet as entrepreneurs. We always have to be thinking about what our audience wants. We have to shift with the market. And you never have to burn down your brand. You don't have to disappear and reinvent everything. It doesn't have to be that dramatic. You don't need a whole new strategy. Maybe you just need a little bit of alignment, right? The kind that makes your content land a little differently, your profile read a little differently, your offers feel inevitable. Because when they're aligned, the exact right clients don't need convincing. They recognize themselves in your work and they recognize themselves in your work immediately and they lean in. And that's that magnetic marketing that we love around here, that we teach around here, that we emphasize around here. I want people to reach out to you. Okay. So let's get practical, right? But also powerful. I want to walk you through like a simple audit that you can do today that's not going to overwhelm you, that is not going to make you crazy, just to show you maybe where you might have a disconnect. And we're going to look at three places. We're going to look at your content, we're going to look at your LinkedIn profile, and we're going to look at your offers. Simple, right? So let's talk about your content first. I want you to go, you can do this right on LinkedIn or you can scatter this across platforms. There's no real rules here, right? We're going to do this, what works for you. But I want you to kind of pull up your last 10 posts. And I want you to look at them from the perspective of who is this post actually speaking to? Is it speaking to somebody figuring things out? Or is it speaking to someone making decisions? Because those are two very different people. So if your content is mostly tips and how-tos and start here conversations, you're going to attract all kinds of people in the learning phase, not the investing phase, right? So your content is not just sharing ideas, it's signaling who you are available for. Let's look at your LinkedIn profile now. We're going to take a quick little audit of that. I want you to look at your headline, your about section, and your call to action. And I want you to think, do you sound like someone you learn from or someone you hire? Again, there's a difference, right? We want to be helpful. Women love to be helpful, right? And if your profile feels like, oh my gosh, she's so helpful, that's amazing. That's nice. I don't need more people stroking me on the back. I want more cash in the bank, right? I want it to feel like she's the one. Oh my gosh, she's the one we need to hire, right? So your profile shouldn't explain you or anything else. It should position you. Now let's look at your offer. Are your offers structured for the clients that you want? Or are they still accessible to the clients that you've outgrown? Are you underpricing, over-delivering, over-explaining? Where are you making it easy for the wrong clients to say yes, right? So it's not that your marketing is wrong or confusing. It's conflicted, right? It's conflicted. So I want to make a shift here that shifts you from relatable to positioned. And this is the shift that can change everything for you. And I want to be really clear here. Relatability is not the problem, right? Relatability is what built your audience. It's amazing. It's what made people feel safe with you. It's that know, like, and trust factor that you can't buy. But the positioning is what builds demand. So let me show you the difference here. Like relatable can sound like, LinkedIn can feel so overwhelming sometimes, right? Positioned sounds like if LinkedIn feels overwhelming, it's because you've outgrown how you're using it. Do you feel that difference? One says, I'm with you. And the other one says, I see what you don't see yet, right? Isn't that who we want to hire? Right? Isn't that who your ideal client wants to hire? They're not looking for somebody to sit with them in all the confusion. Say, oh my gosh, isn't this a mess? Yeah, let's see if we can go through the mess. They want somebody that can lead them out of it, right? Relatable gets attention, but positioning gets you hired. So let's do a little exercise here for a minute. Okay. I want you to take one sentence that you say all the time in your content, right? And think about how would next level me, the next level version of you, how would next level me say this? Something you say all the time, you know what that is, something you're known for. Not louder, not more complicated, right? Just more precise. So take that little exercise and take a sentence and just think about how you can say it in a way that levels you up and that focuses on positioning, not relatability. And now I want to talk a little bit about something that might feel a little bit edgy and might feel a little bit, I don't know. I don't know, maybe I'm putting things in your mind and I don't need to do that, right? But here's what I believe. I believe you don't need more people. We don't need bigger numbers in our social media. We need the right people, the exact right people. And the fastest way to do that is to stop trying to be for everyone, right? Be so specific for who you're at, because when your content is broad, it gets more engagement, but less decision making. It's so funny because I hear so many people say to me, how do I get more eyes on this content? How do I get more eyes on my post? I post and nobody sees it. That's not the right question, right? To me, the right question is we look for signals that our content is working. Somebody connected with you on LinkedIn because they saw your content. Somebody DM'd you because they saw your post. Not how many people saw your post. I mean, I guess in a big world, there's a connection between the number of people that see your post and the number of people that DM you. But to me, it's exhausting to think that way. It's exhausting to think that way. So when you stop trying to be for everyone and you create content that's precise, it gets less noise, but more action. And this is where so many women hesitate, because specificity feels like risk, right? What if I lose people? What if fewer people engage? You know, I when I first learned about digital marketing, like way back in the Stone Age, right? Well, there was no digital marketing in the Stone Age, but way back when, like 2010 maybe, I was doing workshops, and I was learning about digital marketing. So I was doing how to get more clients with your digital marketing, right? And nobody was registering. I'd do the workshops and maybe I'd send them out to my email list of 10 people or whatever it was at the time, right? And then my business coach challenged me. And she knew what I love. Like, I had just finished getting my Reiki master certification. So she says, what if you do a workshop that says how to get more clients for your Reiki business? And I was like, wait, but I can help other people. It's just not just Reiki practitioners that I can help. Do you know that I got like 500 people for the first workshop? That I was getting 0 people. But when I did a workshop specifically for Reiki practitioners, I got like 500 people, because I was still relatable. They could relate to me, but I was speaking directly to them. They knew what I stood for, and I stood out from the crowd. Right? So here's the deal. Maybe you'll lose a few people, but so what? Who needs 1 million people, right? We need clients, and we need the exact right clients. So if your content isn't excluding some people, it's not going to be able to attract the exact right people that you want. So don't be afraid of being exclusive. And remember that the more specific you are, the more money you make, right? The more you're a specialist in what you do. And that's where the additional money is. And then you don't have to be all things to all people, right? When I first started, again, teaching digital marketing, I was speaking, and I would be like, if somebody needs a digital marketing speaker, call me. And my name, I was very grateful that when somebody needed a digital marketing speaker, somebody would throw my name out with 200 other names. But when I started focusing in on LinkedIn, and specifically with LinkedIn for women, when there was like a women's conference that needed a speaker on LinkedIn, now 100 people said, you need Karen, right? Do you see the difference there? So even if I got less gigs, I was getting the exact right gigs, and I wasn't killing myself to do them. There was a few years ago during COVID, actually, I did a workshop, and it was supposed to be in person for a local newspaper here. And, COVID arrived in the world, and the world got shut down. And so the guy said to me, what if we do it virtually? I'm like, all right, I'll do it virtually. And he's like, what if I open it up to all my newspapers nationwide? I'm like, sure. If it's virtual, happy to do that. Sounded amazing to me. And he did. And there was thousands of people at this workshop, and it was awesome. And it swamped me. I had strategy calls booked out for like a month. And then by the time you get to people they're 2, 3 weeks in. They don't even remember who you are. My calendar was so booked. I couldn't even, they weren't the right people. It was killing me. It was, in hindsight, I would have said no. Like, who knew? I didn't know that at the time, right? I don't even know if I'd say no now, right? Because it's hard to say no to something like that. But if the more specific you are, the more you know it's your exact right audience, the more you can jump and say, I'm ready to do this. And the next thing I want to talk about is really important. It's important to me anyway, and maybe it'll be important to you too. I want to talk about standards, because attracting better clients isn't just about saying new things. It's about expecting different things. And in the world we live in right now, I want to work with people whose values are aligned with mine. And it doesn't mean I can't help you if they're not. It doesn't mean I won't help you if they're not. But I choose to work with people whenever I can whose values are aligned with mine. So I get to have standards as to who I work with. So you don't have to answer beginner questions in your marketing if that's something you don't want to do anymore. You no longer have to prove your value in every post because you've elevated your standards, right? You're no longer softening your expertise to be more adjustable. And maybe there's going to be people that realize, well, this isn't for me. And they're okay with that. And you're okay with that. You don't call in better clients by convincing them, right? You call them in by becoming undeniable to them. And this is the shift that I want you to make as you are raising the floor of your brand. Okay. Raising the floor of your brand. My podcast goes out every week. Now, at this moment in time, it's going out twice a week, and it's free to everyone that wants to listen to it. I have so much free content for so many people that are just getting started. But when I work with people, I want them to be able to invest, right? I want them to be able to invest. Let's just kind of wrap this all up here. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are not here to be helpful to every person on the planet. You do not, especially not, have to be available to everyone, right? You're here to be chosen by the exact right people. And when your marketing reflects that, everything shifts. Your conversations are easier. Your clients are aligned. Your business feels like yours again, right? And this can happen for you. This can happen for you. I want you to have magnetic marketing. You know how much I love LinkedIn. You know I think your next clients are on LinkedIn. And I also know on LinkedIn that you're getting spammed by people that are just spamming everyone, thinking if they throw 100 pitches out, maybe one person will say yes. I don't want you to be that person. I want your messaging, your marketing to be magnetic. So if you're ready to make that shift for real, if you're ready for your LinkedIn and your messaging and your visibility to actually match the level that you're operating at now, let's talk. Book a call at KarenYankovich.com/call. This is, we'll talk to you. We've got lots of different ways that we can work with people. If we think that we can help you, we'll tell you what that looks like, right? But when we do that, everything we talked about today, we'll take all of that and we turn it into clear positioning, powerful messaging, visibility that attracts, not exhausts. Because you don't need more content. You need alignment that converts. Okay. And remember, you're not starting over. You're not starting over. We're not burning everything down. You're refining. And the right clients are looking for you. They're looking for you. And now they're finally going to recognize you. So remember, if you want to know what it looks like to get some help with this, just go on over to KarenYankovich.com/call and book a call on our calendar. We'll chat about what that looks like. And I'll see you back here next week with another episode.